Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Dishing with Diamonds. Thank you all so much for joining us. Before we get started, of course, I have to give y'all our little corporate disclaimer here. We are simply sharing our Plexus story. We are not making any financial claims, and we're certainly not making any health claims. We're just sharing our experience with this amazing, wonderful, awesome company, Plexus Worldwide. And now, without further ado, I have the complete honor of introducing our guest. So Deborah Lawson is a diamond ambassador with our company, and I just have to share with you guys that it was an instant connection for me when I met Deborah. I absolutely fell in love with her, and she is one of those people that when I know I'm going to a big Plexus event and we all get to unite, she's one of those people that first pop up in my brain. If I get to see her and I get to hug on her and her sweet husband and just really spend not just the hug, but the quality time. And so, Deborah, I want to thank you for just your open heart, your genuineness, and of course, sharing your time with us today.
Ooh, it is my pleasure, and I tell you what, I am honored. Y'all are very fortunate to have Rainey as your leader. She is an amazing, amazing lady. She is full of integrity. Whenever, I think of someone that has integrity, Rainey is the very first person that comes to mind. And she does. She is everyone at Plexus just absolutely loves her because she is absolutely the sweetest and the kindest lady that we have. She is someone that anyone would aspire to be like and definitely want as their friend. So thank you, Rainey, and y'all, you must have a wonderful team because they're probably just like you.
Well, you're so sweet. Well, I absolutely agree with you. They're wonderful, but you know what? I'm going to tell you, I think they're better than me, to be honest with you. They're sweet and they're good, and they caught the vision and they decided not just to join me, but to lock arms with me. And so I'm forever appreciative of that. So if you don't mind, Deborah, we're just going to jump right into some of these questions. We're going to jump into all the questions, not some of them. We're going to jump into all of them. And so if you hear thunder, okay, so two things, y'all. If you hear thunder, it's super storm raining here today. And then if you hear growling, it's just because I have my fur baby business partners in my office with me. So that's just what happens, real life, right?
Right.
So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, Deborah, would you please, I know you can, would you describe your life before Plexus?
Oh, okay. Let's see. Well, let me just say that I'm a pastor's wife. And absolutely, and yes, I knew I was going to be a pastor's wife when I married Jerry. Love the position that has put me in, and that I've been able to minister and to love on people. And sometime after working for a CPA, we decided that I would come home and just be full-time mom. And of course, my kids are grown now, and I'm a grandmother now. But be a full-time mom and just do ministry work. Well, in the process of all that, me being home, my husband was always fearful that if anything should happen to him, I had no way of making a living, because we were depending solely on him. So he got me into a makeup business, and against my will, by the way, because all of that I wore at that time was just a little foundation, a little eyeliner, and maybe lip gloss if I could find it. And if I couldn't, oh well, here I am. So he got me in a makeup business. And so on the outside, because I loved the product. I ended up loving the product, still like this product. This makeup product. And so I could sell it to everyone because I enjoyed it so much. But on the outside, it looked like I was very successful. I was driving cars, got my diamond ring. But if you were to really examine, you would realize that I was in debt. It was a company where you had to buy inventory. I was $13,000 in debt. On a credit card that was 28.9% interest. And I had to have inventory in order to get the commissions that I qualified for. Okay. And of course, my husband and I only had one secret, and that was that I was in debt. He had no clue that I was in debt. And I don't know if y'all even understand, as a minister's wife in the minister's salary, this is huge. I'd go to bed at night scared about how in the world am I going to pay for this credit card, because I was barely making the minimum payment on it. But that was life before plexus.
Wow. Okay. So the number just, I mean, you saw my face. It just kind of blew me away. You know, we're so fortunate. And so when we tell people and we share with people that we don't have to carry inventory, y'all, I feel like Deborah's example right there is a huge validator to that statement of, you know, what a burden that is not on us to not have to have a, you know, carry inventory. So how did you get introduced to plexus?
Well, interesting enough, a friend was having she was having an event where to teach us how to be better at what, you know, in this makeup business. Mm-hmm. And of course, I was the same level as she, and I went down there pretending that I was going to help her out. But in reality, I'm thinking, teach me something, because I don't know what to do. I'm in debt. Mm-hmm. And of course, no one knew. It was a secret that you had. And so I went down there, and someone just happened to share, you know, it was a commercial, and it was just helping us to look better in our suits. And she just shared the pink drink. Well, I didn't want anyone to know that I was even thinking about something like that. So I just kind of quietly, just kind of discreetly, just kind of did like this and wrote down the name of the product and went home and Googled it for 4 months. Do not procrastinate on this, okay? Don't do what I did. But I did. I Googled it for 4 months and was really intrigued by it. But I really thought it was a scam. Mm-hmm. I knew there was a multi-level marketing company, and I didn't want anything to do with that because we were told that multi-level marketing was a scam. Didn't realize that's what we were. But anyhow, go figure. But that's how I got introduced to it, was through that lady and me Googling it, looking at it for 4 straight months.
That's amazing. Now, so is that same person your sponsor in Plexus now? Are you able to, not necessarily, and it's okay. It's, you know, these things happen from time to time, right? Where a seed was planted.
It was, and what happened, because so this is a story. This is a life lesson too. So she never did follow up. Of course, she didn't know to follow up, I guess, mm-hmm. but she didn't follow up. I was looking online and was going to sign up with her because that's what we're kind of taught and do. But someone in my church signed up before me. And I felt that I needed to go with the person in my church because I didn't want and I wasn't planning on working in the business. That was the last thing I was planning on doing. I was just going to be a good
wholesale user.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I hadn't even got that far. Sure. I just knew that if I was going to do it, I needed to do it under them. And so that's what I did.
But absolutely. And I love your honesty and truly you just being very transparent in what you're sharing, because number one, I think the importance of follow-up has been displayed here, as well as an example of you're going to sign up under the person that you have the relationship with, and how important that is to have relationships in your life, because at the end of the day, even though that one person planted the seed, and your life just happens, you may be that seed planter for somebody and they may end up signing up under somebody else because of the relationship. And that's life. That is part of what we do. However, when you sow a relationship and when you invest in it, the chances of them joining you are obviously a lot greater as well. So, I appreciate you letting us know that. So you signed up. So I want to know more about your business journey. So walk us through that.
All right. So here I am. I've been Googling it for 4 months, reading it privately, haven't shared it with my husband. And, yes, I have been on every kind of, and I wanted to join it, or I wanted to take the product, not necessarily join. Because I needed to lose weight, desperately needed to lose weight. I was the biggest I had ever been, and if I had a picture close by, I didn't think about that, I would share it with you. But I was the biggest I'd ever been, and I felt like I needed to find a 9-to-5 job. My husband, I think, yes, this is where, I think my husband had become sick, where he had stayed in the hospital for, it was 4 days, 3 nights. And So when he was admitted there, and he would kept on saying, can I get you anything? Can I do anything for you? And he would always say, no, just go home and work your business. Go home and work your business. And my business was the makeup business. And I would leave crying because I'm thinking, he doesn't even understand. He doesn't know I don't have a makeup business. Now he's telling me to hurry and go home and work my business because he, on the other hand, is worried that should he not be able to continue pastoring, not only are we going to be without a job, the only income in the house, but also without a home, because we have a absolutely gorgeous home, but it belongs to the church.
Yeah.
And if he can't pastor, well, we won't have a home. And there would be no income to even go and rent or anything. And so I would leave the hospital crying, trying, what am I going to do? What am I going to tell him? And then, having that debt. So my whole thing in finding this particular product was to find a way to lose weight, because I knew no one was going to hire me. And I knew I had to find a 9-to-5 job. I had 2 strikes against me. I was fat and I was 50. And I knew that no one was going to hire fat and 50, no matter how good my qualities were or my credentials. It was just 2 strikes. So anyway, I thought, okay, if I can lose some weight, maybe. And I've tried every kind of diet and good ones. But the thing about it is, whenever you're on the diet, you can lose weight. But the minute you get off of it, guess what? For me, I would lose the weight, but as soon as I got off, I'd gain it all back, and it brought friends with me. So here I am, the biggest I've ever been. And I'm thinking, okay. So I asked Jerry one night, I said, come and look at this and tell me what you think. And so he started looking at it, and he says, well, I tell you what, you do it and I'll do it with you. Now, a shocker, because I really expected him to say something kind of negative about another diet. And I've never asked his permission before. And I don't know why I felt so compelled this time to say, what do you think? I mean, we were talking about $100, okay? That was it. And I didn't have to go and buy anymore. So here we are. We decided to do it wholesale. That's the cheapest. And then you could buy a pack. And all we had on there was Slim. So at this point, we got 4 bags of Slim for $200. That was the weapon pack. And so we were going to really try it for 2 months. He was going to get 2 bags. I was getting my own 2 bags. And no one was going to know. Within just a couple of weeks of it coming in, I'd lost a little bit of weight. You would have thought as big as I would have lost a whole bunch. But it was just a little bit on the scale. But it was the inches that shocked me, because I ended up having to put on a suit. Because before, I'm pulling over and pulling up. That's how my clothes fit. But this particular day, I had to wear a suit that buttoned. And the last time I wore that suit, I could only button one button on the blazer. And sitting down, they all came undone. Well, this particular day when I put on the blazer, not only would it button, but it overlapped. And I was shocked, absolutely shocked. So anyway, some friends of ours, you would probably know her, Patty Cuevas, and she called and asked how I was doing. I shared with her. She goes, oh, Deborah, let me come up and do something. So Patty and Coach and Sheila all came up, and we had a launch party, so to speak. And it was at Tasty Temptations.
Of all places, right?
Yeah, of all places. It's always an eating place. 13 people came, and it was at lunch. 13 people came, 12 signed up.
You're in business.
I had something that night. 6 people came, 4 signed up. And on the way home, it was a 30-minute drive home, I said, oh my goodness, I have 2 people that if I do not call, they're going to be mad at me, because they cannot find out from anyone else. And it wasn't that I was thinking, oh, I need to grow my team, because I was not planning on working this. Right. I really thought I was doing it for them. There was no thought process of growing a business. I am thinking about losing weight and finding a 9-to-5 job. So I called these 2 friends, and they came over, and they both signed up. Well, within 4 days, I went what they call Fast Start Gold. 4 days. And so I get a phone call. And Jerry's over there, and he's watching me, and I'm like, hello. And Jerry's like, who is it? And I'm like, I don't know. It's some guy named Tarl. I know who it is. So he's talking to me, and I'm trying to, like, what is this? Of course, later, we understand that is our CEO. But he called to congratulate me and find out what in the world I was doing. Of course, I'm sure he's crunching the numbers saying, who is this person? Look at all these people coming in. And that was at kind of the beginning, because it started in 2010. And that's kind of when everything kind of started rocking and rolling.
That is awesome. So we have to pause for a second, because y'all, Fast Start Gold in 4 days. You probably, like you said, you weren't even really shooting for that. And I think the beauty behind that is passion, sharing, and I think there's some beauty in not knowing. Like, again, not saying to have a goal, it's important to have a goal, but just there was some, in the earlier days, there's just this naiveness of, hey, I'm passionate, I want to share the products, I'm going to tell my friends. Just like we get about any great thing that enters our life, right? Is just that ability to share. So 4 days you go Fast Start Gold. What did the rest of so walk us through, did you continue to stay in that momentum? Like, how far was it to your, say, Ruby?
Well, let's see. Everything just started kind of snowballing because we were so excited. You have to understand, when Jerry came home from the hospital, he was having to, I don't know, I'm not sure how compliant are we on this?
We gave our disclaimer, and it's really for the team. So, I mean, I would say, I would still use caution, but that it's for our team. So,
well, he came home with 4 insulin shots.
Wow.
4. Now, just think about this. A diabetic being admitted into the hospital. He had blood sugar over 650, and it had been that way for months. And 4 insulin shots. So we were scared. Yeah. Absolutely scared. And Jerry had already been looking at what was all natural, and that was kind of a new field for us. Mm-hmm. There ain't nothing crunchy about us, except, we like okra that's crunchy. We like squash that's crunchy. Chicken that's crunchy. We're all about that kind of crunchy.
We also call that fried, right? I mean, crunchy, yeah. Fried, whatever.
So here we are, and he has started looking at all natural things because he wanted to get off of, if he could. We didn't think there was any hope of it, but what can I do? Can I lessen this? Think about having to give yourself 4 shots a day. Mm-mm. So he had investigated and found out that cinnamon helped people. Y'all, we live in a small town, and even our county only has 7,000 people. My county. Our town has 1,500, okay? So I would guarantee you that at least half of our county is on cinnamon. Capsules of cinnamon, because it is known to help to lower blood sugar. So he has already told everyone about this. So it was only natural that when we found something that was helping him lower sugar, what would he do? He would tell everyone, right?
Absolutely.
Because I can assure you that Walmart has not given him any money back for selling all that cinnamon. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't in his thing to think, okay, if I sell Plexus, I'll get money. It wasn't that. It was a passion about, let me help you.
Well, and it's also because I don't know that our entire audience knows that not only are you a preacher's wife, but Jerry's also a Plexus ambassador. And not only is he a Plexus ambassador, y'all are also a double diamond family. So, I mean, this is impressive. This is the things that dreams are made of. And, and it couldn't happen to a nicer couple either. I mean, I didn't know you before Plexus, but I can only imagine you remained as humble. I've always said success just makes you more of who you are. So if you were kind and sweet and all things pure, like you seem to have been, that's only going to be magnified in the success that you've had with Plexus. And that's how I see you all. So, and I can only imagine how scary that must have been, having that diagnosis and then having your husband sent home with those shots that he would have to take, and thinking, is this how the rest of our life is going to be? So now, did Jerry sign up under you, or are you under Jerry?
Jerry signed up under me,
Okay.
and it was strictly to get 4 more bags of Slim at $50 a piece.
Excellent.
That was it. We like it, so let's get some more and see how we like this. That was the only thing. That was the only motivation, was that we got. And at that point, we got checks. So when I went Fast Start Gold, and we got checks in the mail, oh my goodness, there's nothing like opening a mailbox and pulling out checks and seeing it. And when I totaled up how much that was, it was like holy mackerel. And now I will say this, I held on to those checks and did not cash them because, well, hold on, I thought I had been told in my makeup business that multi-level marketing was a scam. Yeah. So what did I do? I Googled. I started reading, reading about multi-level marketing. And what I found was this. And you're going to find sites that have bad things, but they're wanting you to do something else usually. But most of the sites were all favorable. And not only that, but the company that I highly adored and loved, my makeup business, their name was listed in every single one of them. And I thought, okay, now I get the picture. And so I went and cashed the checks. And Charles, at that time, we started talking constantly. Jerry had told me, he says, well, why don't you go see if this will work? And so I started going out and sharing Plexus. This is before Facebook, And what are you going to say on Facebook? Hey, I think I might have something. We had 2 pieces of paper that we worked with. One piece had our 3 products on it. And one was what we called the breast cream. Imagine talking about the breast cream with men. Right. And I don't even mention the word underwear in front of men. Okay, that's how modest I was. So we had the body cream, I'll call it the right name. We had the breast check kit, and we had the Slim. Those were the only 3 products we had. So we had 2 pieces of paper. That one that had the products on it, and then the other one was the power of 3. And that's all we talked about. Testimonies. Let's see. We had Ronnie had a testimony. Sheila had a testimony. Patty had somewhat of a testimony that she was working on. I had a testimony. Jerry had one. It was just a handful of people that had testimonies. So, part of us is kind of like, is it a fluke that it's working? That goes in your head. And so, but I'm out and I'm sharing with everyone. And you ask how I progressed. Well, each month we kept on, gaining more and more. The excitement, the passion of what it was doing for us. I'm slowly losing weight. It's not even conscious that I'm losing or trying. It's just happening. My appetite has changed. My cravings have changed. This is the chocoholic, and it's gone. My husband, he's off all of his shots, which was a goal of ours. But I went Emerald 1 year later. Yeah. I saw Sheila went Emerald the month before I did, and then I went Emerald the next month. So I was the second Emerald in the company.
Wow. And so just kind of timelining it, because this is my anniversary month 4 years ago. So April 23rd, 2013 is my anniversary month. And then if I recall, Sheila Medina went Diamond right at that convention, like May maybe of 2013. Right. So you had to have been like right behind her in that time frame. As far as
Diamond, I ended up being like the 10th or so Diamond.
Okay, so
yeah, something like that.
Incredible. That's so wonderful, and just all the success is just, and to hear, here we have really truly what I would say is one of our pioneers of Plexus. Truly, I know that you all are honored that way, and it's so fun and meaningful to hear the history of Plexus, and really we can't use excuses of the training or when you want it, you want it. When you believe in something, you go for it, because we have so much more training and resources and products available to us today. And to really grow your business on 3 products, it goes to show you how great our products are.
Exactly. So, and we didn't have much sales on the what we did on the breast check kit and breast cream, and that was sometimes our foot in the door, were those two products. And then, we would bring in the Slim, but
amazing. I love it. So you've been in this journey for a while, and we kind of talk at times that it can be like a roller coaster. It has its ups, it has its downs, it ebbs and it flows. So how do you stay motivated in this business? Actually, and now having been a part of network marketing for many years, not just with Plexus. So what are some tips that you can give us, or what do you do to stay motivated?
Okay. Well, in Plexus, the way I stay motivated, of course, it's always God's word will always give you inspiration. If you're looking for something, God's word, there's always something there for you. And I know that before I got in Plexus, I went to bed worried every night about where were we going to live, what were we going to do, how was I going to pay for that credit card. And the verse that God kept on giving me over and over again was, be still and know that I am God. And so God's word will give you that inspiration that you need. But I will say this, my favorite scriptures, if you're like, okay, give me some more scriptures. It's Proverbs 3, 1 through 10. Everything that you need is right there. If you want to know how to live, it's there. If you want a promise from God, and there's very few promises like God saying, if you do this, I promise I'll do that. And there's one in that one. So I'm not even tell you anymore. You just got to go and search it out for yourself and let God speak.
Homework.
Homework, exactly. But how do I stay motivated still in Plexus? I want to tell you, every time I hear a new testimony, it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I get so excited. I got one over the weekend, and it was from a friend. And she said, Deborah, I just have to share this with you. She said, my husband, Larry, I was telling him I had a dry spot on my face, and I don't know what to do with it. And he said, oh, put some of that gray stuff on your face. That's what I do. And all of my it's the only thing that's ever worked on my dry spots. And she said, I've been wondering what had happened to my gray lotion, is what they called it. Of course, that's the body cream. Yeah. And I'm just like, I get so excited over any kind of, I'm able to poop. Thank you very much. Or, hey, we went out and ate last night, and I didn't have to rush home to the bathroom. How could you not get excited about helping someone else with their health? I mean, in the beginning, it was just like every time we'd get a testimony, we'd look at each other in awe, and we're like, boy, this is better than getting paid. Well, almost. Seriously. So my motivation comes from the word of God speaking, but also these testimonies that people, and let me share this with you. Can I tell you a little Tarl story?
Sure. I think I know our audience would love that.
Okay. All right. So here we are. And I usually would try to have a fun story for Tarl, because I couldn't imagine all week long, and having all the discussions he's having and just everything. So this particular Friday, I had a story to tell him. So we're talking, and I said, hey, I got something I want to share with you. And I said, in Sunday school, I was asking the ladies, I said, okay, I want to hear your testimony. What has God done for you this week? And I said, so they kind of went around the table, and this one girl stood up and she said, okay, Deborah, I know you don't like talk Plexus, but hear me out. And I said, okay, let's hear it. And she said, y'all, I've lost 75 pounds. And of course, everyone clapped for her. And this is a single mom that's raising 2 daughters. Now, we know boys are expensive, or kids in general are expensive, but 2 daughters, yeah. Teenage daughter, yeah. By yourself, yeah. And she works as a secretary at the school, so her income is not that great. And so she said, and she goes, not only have I lost 75 pounds, but y'all, I have been able to make $200 extra a month because of Plexus. Wow. Well, we all clapped. Okay. And I know you're out there and you may be thinking $200 extra. Well, let me tell you what $200 extra does. How about groceries? Or how about gas or anything like that? That's huge. So I'm telling this to Tarl, and I said, Tarl, I just want to thank you, because I'm not sure you understand what $200 does for us here in Mississippi. Mm. He said, well, hold on just a minute. So he goes and he closes the door. He comes back and sits down. He said, let me tell you something. He said, we had an event here. Now, y'all, this is way back when. And he said, and in fact, I think it was when the event was, if they sold $1 million in that month, then they were going to have a party. And so he had a party for all the people. And so they were able to bring a guest with them. And so he said at this party, there was someone that was invited, and they thought they had to buy the meal that night. So they didn't eat. And they lost $200 out of their pocket, probably on the dance floor or something. He said, that was probably the only $200 they could even come up with. Now think about it. Probably couldn't come up with it in their bank account or even credit card. And he said, of course, we made sure that, anonymously, that they got their $200 back. He said, but it made me start thinking about, here I am so busy writing $200,000 checks that it just brought me back down to earth that $200 is huge. Now, Rainey, I don't think it's an accident that I had a $200 story and Charles had a $200 story to tell. He is so motivated in helping people, not only with their health, he is all after stellar products. So if you ask how come we don't have more products in our store, well, he's after only those stellar products, those one of a kind that you can't find anywhere else, nowhere else. And he's also passionate about people and their income. He knows what it means not to have it. And so he is really passionate about helping people to make that those ends meet, helping people to be able to buy the groceries and not have to worry about, did I spend too much? Do I have to put it back? Or can we go on vacation this month? Or can we pay our light bill? He's very passionate. He really understands that.
I love that insight to Charles, and you're absolutely right that the heart is there and the heart behind our company, and just, truly the people that are in charge, and of course it starts with Charles and Alec, because that's who we started with, but then the other executives that we brought in also are from that same cloth of integrity and character, and it's just been an honor to be a part of something so special and so unique. I've said, of course, there's other network marketing companies out there, and there's some great ones, but I liken what we are as something special and unique, much like maybe one of those TV shows that hits the air, and you just say there's something different about this show. There'll never be another Cosby show. I'm maybe dating myself a little bit. There won't be another. Or recently the This Is Us has gotten a lot of accolades. So there won't be another one of those shows, or there was a show called Parenthood. And so I feel that way about Plexus. There was just something in my gut when I joined this company that just made it different. It's my only network marketing experience, but just I've worked for other companies, and this has been very special. So you've shared with us your Bible verse, which is one of my favorites, by the way. And that's not surprising, because I do just feel like we are kindred spirits. And so when you said that, I was like, of course it is, because that's one of mine. And I knew that we had just another thing in common. Is there any other go-to motivational phrase that kind of sticks with you?
Oh, well, let me just share you another Charles story. How about that?
That's great.
So here we are, and he's called, and we're talking, and he says, gee, I just, everything's, we're just friendly and everything. And he says, boy, I can't believe you're going to go to convention and not walk across stage as a sapphire. I can't believe that. Well, let me just tell you, if he had been sitting in front of me, I'd probably hit him as hard as I could, because that's how I felt. So we hung up pretty quick, because I didn't think I could contain my anger, or whatever you want to call. And so I thought, doggone it, you just watch me, buddy boy. And I immediately, and I didn't know there was a phrase out there like this, but I immediately put on Facebook, and it made it my status. I will, you watch me. And I wanted to put Tara Robinson tagging in it, but I didn't. And so that was my motivation. I'm thinking, you just watch, buddy boy. I will be out there. I will be separate. And I didn't have a clue I was going to do it. But let me just tell you, I did. Okay. And he had me to speak for the Sapphires that year. And if you remember, Rainey, when we were in Dallas, I spoke there, and that was my ending to the speech that I did. I will, watch me. And that's what I want you to focus on, your team, is that have a goal so much that, and put a date to it. It's really important that you have a date to it. Does it matter so much whether you miss it or not? Not really. I mean, the main thing is that you've got to reach for it. Have y'all seen the commercial of the little girl that she's got it on a Post-it note, and it says something about I will jump higher tomorrow. And so she takes a Post-it note and she jumps as high as she can to the wall. And then the next day she jumps as high as she can to the wall. And she keeps on jumping until she gets higher and higher and higher. She's got a goal. And so whenever she goes out for the basketball team and they want to know who wants to jump first, she raises her hand. Of course, everyone laughs because she's the shortest one. But she jumps up as high as she can, and they're all shocked. Well, it's the same way with us. We need to have that goal, and we got to and make it like, I can. I will, and you just watch me. You just watch me. I will. I can. And if you will do that, I promise you, you will see yourself actually doing it. You'll see yourself walking across stage. You will see yourself receiving that goal, the accolades of getting to that particular position. But you gotta visualize it, and you gotta say it, and you gotta put it out there.
Such wise advice. I love it. I love it. And I love the go-to motivational phrase for sure. It's perfect. So do you have some business tips, maybe a few that you could share with the group?
Well, I have, and I'll go through it real quickly. I had some ABCs, and that's simply it. ABC. One is, A is attitude, and it's everything starts with your attitude. There's nothing more contagious, and I believe that's how we started in the beginning, because there's nothing more contagious than excitement and a passion, and we had both. We had the excitement that, we're getting healthy, we're feeling good, we're losing weight, but more than that, my husband is getting healthier. Having this excitement and passion, it's going to just draw people to you. People are drawn to that. I don't know about you, but whenever you see someone that is always negative Nelly, I tend to want to stay away from as far as I can. I want to be polite and nod. But it's those people who have the passion and excitement. It just draws you to them. You want to be that person. So that would be my A. I want you to make sure that you come across authentic and real, because if you're not yourself, if you're not real, well, that's a phony, and that's not part of our ABC. So that doesn't work, so it can't be a phony. Your circle of friends will be attracted to you whenever you do that. So don't be anyone else. Another thing, make sure it's all about them. It's not about the sale. It's about how can this product benefit them.
Good.
It's about them. Never, ever about you. And that goes for about them as to which way is the best way for them to purchase the product. It's about them. It's not about you. It's not about you making that, I need one more person to reach this goal, because that's using someone. Okay? And we're not about using anyone. We're about being real and authentic. And so make it sure it's all about them, because they can see through any of that. B is belief. Oh my gosh. Your belief has to be so like past 10, it's not even funny. And what do you need to have belief in? Well, I hope through this that you have that belief in our execs. They've got our back completely. They understand everything that's going out there. I can assure you, they know. They've got our backs. Have belief in the company. Have belief in the products. And if you're swaying on any of like the belief on the products, go listen to testimonies. That should get you out of the gutter completely. If someone says something negative about the products, especially if you have a customer something, it's probably understand and kind of look through the surface. It's probably because they can't afford it, or they don't think they can afford it, or their husband is buzzed, or you never know. But it's not the product. It's probably they're not using it correctly. So make sure that your belief is just so over the top in all of it, even the business part. If you don't have it there, then you start listening to more testimonies. I can assure you that your belief system will soon be there. Do that daily. Consistent. You got to be consistent. What are you consistent in? Well, what are we not consistent in? We need to be consistent in taking the products daily. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Got to be consistent in your water. Got to be consistent if you're exercising. And I am so envious of Rainey. I can't even, my most exercising is walking to the mailbox and back. So I'm very envious. So y'all take note from Rainey on being consistent on that part for sure. Be consistent on whatever it is that you can do in your business. Whatever it is. If you can only commit to 30 minutes, hallelujah. Mm-hmm. 30 minutes a day, well then, praise the Lord and let's go for it. But don't make your don't fool yourself in what your 30 minutes are. If you think getting on Facebook and liking things is your IPAs, income producing activities, well then you are fooling yourself and you're not being honest to yourself, and you're only hurting yourself. Okay, that's it. You're not hurting anyone else but yourself. So you got to be consistent. What is consistent? Well, income producing activities is what that amounts to. That means finding new friends and talking to them about Plexus and then following up. That means sharing the product and following up. And it is in the follow-up that everything happens. I had a senior Ruby that went senior Ruby she works 40 hours a week, and the way she did it during her lunch hours, she would schedule meetings. She would either go to their place of work and do it in the break room, or she would meet someone for coffee or something. And that's how they did it. Her 2 15-minute breaks, she would have it planned and who she was going to text, because you can't do too many calls, but she could text. So that's how she went senior Ruby in an hour and 30 minutes a day.
No excuses. And I love that example, because so many times I hear I'm working, or I have this, or I'm this, or I'm that. And at the end of the day, and what I hear from you in your business tips are truly, and I say this with just the heart of just being genuine, it's tough love advice that we have to give sometimes, right? And I love how you were very bold in what you said of, are we being honest with ourselves? You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your business a disservice. But look at what you can get accomplished in an hour or an hour and a half if you really lock down and you commit to that time span. It's huge, And so I question, or I'll ask, people to be honest with themselves. What does your day look like? What does your hour look like? You tell me you're setting aside an hour. What does that hour look like? So thank you so much for just sharing that and not sugarcoating it. At the end of the day, I've asked this to so many diamonds that have been on this call with me, and this wasn't one that was planned, but I think it's a great place to insert it, and you'll know the answer. So I'm not springing anything on you won't know. But so often, we hear this. Oh, here comes my daughter. She just got home from school. So I said, hey, I'm recording right now, so let me get right back with you, okay? Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Okay, I'm recording. So
we want to see.
Okay, so everyone wants to see. So
we want to see.
A special friend at school that gave her this sweet little tan daz.
I love it.
That's so sweet. That's awesome. So, okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is what happens when, you've been raised in a business where mommy's always, on a call or what have you. You're kind of the star of the show at times, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So that was Sadie. Thanks for the grace there, y'all. So, so the question is this, so often we hear the formula of 5-3-1, right? And whereas I think it's a great place to start. It's a great place to be consistent. And in your ABCs, you said, being consistent, huge. But would you agree that when we're passionate and we're excited, that we're probably sharing and following up with more than 5 and 3 and 1?
Absolutely. And because if you have the, think of Superman glasses, he's Superman now. Well, maybe we're super Plexus ambassadors. And when you have those kind of glasses on, all of a sudden you see it in a different view. You see a woman who is checking out and you're thinking, oh my goodness. And you can tell that she needs more money. She needs more month. She needs more money for the end of the month. Or you see someone, you see someone who talks on Facebook that, they're sick or they've gotten a diagnosis or maybe it's your best friend. Well, whenever you have the Plexus glasses on, not the super Plexus ambassador glasses on, all of a sudden you're thinking about, how can I help them? So it's not about 5, 3, 2, 1. It's about, how can I help them? Mm-hmm. What can I do? So your glasses are about, now everyone is in your view, because I haven't met anyone who doesn't need Plexus in some form or fashion. I haven't.
So true. Oh, I love it. Thank you for letting me pop that question in on you. And so in your years with Plexus, and I always preface this by telling people I'm kind of an ish person, meaning I don't ever have exact numbers. I have about this much in my bank account ish. I'll be there about 2-ish. Because I'm not green. Let me just be real honest about that. I admire our greens because I need your brain. I'd like to borrow it and actually ask you to give me some of it. But how many people ish have you sponsored in Plexus?
Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah, I know.
Right? I don't know. Too many that didn't see the vision, and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Too many that didn't see the vision. Ew.
That's okay.
I don't know, 400 more.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So, and it breaks my heart because so many didn't see the vision.
Yeah.
And or maybe in the beginning we didn't know enough to,
Absolutely. And I love that number there just because, again, passion, sharing, and I'm like you, I don't know exactly. So, I mean, I literally would have to pull a report and then I'd have to know how to pull that report. So, and then how many would you say are with you today that you would consider really running partners doing this business with you?
Running partners are actively doing the business. I would say if they were my number ones, probably between 7 to 10.
Okay.
Something like that. And
that's about the average number that we see at this level as well, is about 7 to 10. So thank you for sharing those numbers right? So and I feel like you've shared so much in this question, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it. What is a lesson that you've learned on your way to Diamond?
Okay.
Through your whole journey. It doesn't have to be.
That's fair enough. This is maybe not what I've learned through Plexus or the Diamond part, but this is it's brought itself to head many, many times through this journey. So just life in general. And so, like, if you were to leave today and you say, okay, I don't want Plexus anymore, anyone on your team, I want you to know this, that give respect to others. Always give respect to others. Love your friends and love your family. And no matter where you go in this world, you're going to find people all share one similar trait. They all want to be loved. They want to be loved for who they are. Mm. Respect every person that you meet, and no matter who they are or what type of status they hold. So be that person that knows the president of the bank in his name and can say hello, but you also know the person who cleans the bank.
So important.
It's really important that you do that. And pretend. Just pretend and look and see that Everyone has a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel special."
Mm.
So as for your friends and family, love them unconditionally and never forget about them. No matter how busy you are, make time for them.
That's so beautiful. I feel like I needed to get a little box of Kleenex over here and just wipe. That's really sweet. So my last question, and a fun question that I always like to end this with, is tell me something fun or meaningful, or just, we've talked about life changing a lot since becoming a double diamond family, right? And I know you've been able to bless others. And so talk to me a little bit about how that has changed your life. What is something maybe fun you've done, and maybe something meaningful?
Fair enough. Let's see. So something meaningful. Whenever when we got involved in this, of course, we're in a small church, but we have so many young couples that were coming, and so we really felt that a need that we needed a minister just for them. We have a youth pastor, but we felt like we really needed a minister that would minister to the young couples, and so it was at this, I think, a convention. But anyway, there was a prize, and it was $10,000, and it could have been for anyone who won it. It didn't. There wasn't a set number. It was for anyone who won it, and I won it that year. And I told Jerry, I said, I tell you what, and I said, I tell you what, let's set this $10,000 aside, and let's hire that minister. And that $10,000 is set aside just in case we don't end up having enough money during, offering, that we have that we can rely on. Because it would be scary to the minister to come on board and, do y'all really have enough to pay me? Mm-hmm. So that was one of the most meaningful things that we were able to do. And the other, I'm helping to sponsor children that are in sex trafficking. And so that's been a neat thing and fun things. Let's see. I brought my daughter and her family over to Maui, and that was the most fun, watching them and being with them, experiencing that with them. There was just nothing like it. Because I never thought that I was going to go to Hawaii, much less be able to afford my family to come. So that was huge. But later on, we took another trip, and that was to Disney, and the whole family went. And so my son was able to go with his family, and it was a completely paid trip for them. We had, the breakfast with the princesses, and all the care. We had 3 or 4 different planned meals. So that was really neat, and not having to even worry about what, can I afford this? Or I guess I'm just going to say yes and wait till the credit card comes in. No, y'all, we don't live on credit card. We don't have a credit card. Everything is paid. And that is my whole desire for each one. That is why I'm here today speaking to you, is because I don't want you to have a credit card. I don't want you to have those money worries. And it is possible. It is possible. I can't promise anything, but what I can share with you is that the comp plan is there so that if you will make the most of it, if you will get out of your own self way and just go for it. I will. You just watch me.
So perfect. And I mean, if I adore you. So this could possibly get a little gushy. So for those of you that don't like that, you can mute me. But honestly, I love you so much. I'm grateful for you. And just, as always, I just see you as the light. You're just wise. You're genuine. You're straightforward. And so I just thank you. Thank you for sharing the history. It was so fun to hear some of those stories, and just, where we've come from as a company. Y'all, 3 products, really? And, to just see where we've come today, and just, it's something to celebrate, and the power of believing. And isn't it so very fitting that convention this year theme is I believe. I think we spoke a lot about that today. So I'm thankful. Thank you so much for being with us today. Absolutely. All right, you guys. So we're going to sign off for now, and I hope you tune in with us the next time. Again, Deborah, you've been amazing. I know you all are going to enjoy or have enjoyed this so very much. And until next time, I'll see you. Go Plexus.
Go Plexus. Bye.